Lesson 86. Review of the lessons 71 and 72.
Hi there. Today, we're exploring two more ideas from the second review period in the workbook for students of A Course in Miracles. Following our routine, we'll dedicate the first part of our day to the first idea, and the latter part to the second. Each part will include one extended 15-minute practice session, along with several brief regular reminders as the day unfolds. Ready to start?
71. Only God's plan for salvation will work.
It is senseless for me to search wildly about for salvation. I have seen it in many people and in many things, but when I reached for it, it was not there. I was mistaken about where it is. I was mistaken about what it is. I will undertake no more idle seeking. Only God's plan for salvation will work. And I will rejoice because His plan can never fail.
How many times have we sought happiness and salvation outside ourselves, believing it lay in people, possessions, achievements, or elsewhere? How often have we convinced ourselves that our salvation resided in this or that, only to find it absent upon reaching for it? We were wrong. We were mistaken about where and what it is. Isn't it about time to change our approach? Let's no longer engage in this fruitless searching. Only God's plan for salvation will work, and we can be happy because His plan can never fail. We often lack a true understanding of what will bring us happiness, yet we attempt to control life's outcomes, believing we know the best way for events to unfold and how people should act. In reality, we don't have a clue. Let's simply open our hearts and go with the flow. Then, what to do, where to go, what to say, and to whom, might suddenly become much clearer. Here are some helpful ways to apply this idea throughout the day, especially when situations arise that call for it.
God's plan for salvation will save me from my perception of this.
This is no exception in God's plan for my salvation.
Let me perceive this only in the light of God's plan for salvation.
For our first extended practice period, let's close our eyes and slowly repeat to ourselves.
Only God's plan for salvation will work.
Only God's plan for salvation will work.
Only God's plan for salvation will work.
Then, let's keep our eyes closed and simply listen. Let's listen quietly and mindfully. There is a message for us. We will receive it.
'72. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation.
Holding grievances is an attempt to prove that God's plan for salvation will not work. Yet only His plan will work. By holding grievances, I am therefore excluding my only hope of salvation from my awareness. I would no longer defeat my own best interests in this insane way. I would accept God's plan for salvation and be happy.
When we cling to grievances, because someone did something we didn't like, or didn't do something we wanted them to, or because the world failed to meet our expectations, or whatever, we're essentially attacking God's plan for salvation. We're trying to prove that God's plan for salvation won't work. These grievances can sometimes take the form of a thought like, "See? I did everything you asked, and this is the outcome?" However, deep within, we recognize the truth: only God's plan for salvation will work. Holding grievances pushes our only hope for salvation out of our consciousness. That hardly seems like a wise strategy, right? It's time to put an end to this insanity. Let's stop betraying ourselves and acting against our own best interests. Let's embrace God's plan for salvation and release our grievances so we can open ourselves up to true happiness. As illustrated before, the process could be as simple as releasing all our grievances, opening our hearts and staying with the flow, staying in alignment. Then, what to do, where to go, what to say, and to whom, might suddenly become crystal clear. Here are some simple ways to use this idea for more specific applications.
I am choosing between misperception and salvation as I look on this.
If I see grounds for grievances in this, I will not see the grounds for my salvation.
This calls for salvation, not attack.
I choose love over anger because it's part of God's plan for me.
Forgiving them is the best way to follow God's plan.
And for the second extended practice period of your day, just close your eyes and slowly repeat the idea to yourself.
Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation.
Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation.
Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation.
Then keep your eyes closed and simply be still. Be present. Be mindful. Just listen. There's a message for you. You will receive it. And so we conclude our review lesson for today. As you move through your day, practice these ideas, engaging in both the extended practice sessions and the more frequent and shorter ones. These practices are a sacred commitment to the way, the truth, and the life. They are very holy. Let's embrace them with sincere devotion. Your progress is remarkable. See you tomorrow for another review lesson. Quick reminder, if you haven't yet watched the introduction to this video series, be sure to do so, as it lays the foundation for our journey together. Just click on the video link that will appear on your screen shortly.
Did you enjoy the video and find it helpful? Please give it a like and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We have a new lesson every day. And if you've been with us for a while, please consider supporting the channel. There's a lot of love behind these videos. Check out the video description for more details.